In this lecture, guys, we're going to create bones for our arms and our legs. More specifically, we're actually going to use the singular term, so it's going to be an arm and a leg. The reason why is because we're actually going to end up mirroring our rig. So because a human has parallel, it has a right arm and a right leg, a left arm and a left leg, then we only need to create one half and then we can mirror it to the other. So for this lecture, we're just going to create one half of our human mesh. Note that the reason why I'm doing this, the reason why I'm doing this lecture in particular, is to show you that your entire rig does not have to connect to each other. Not every bone has to be connected to every other bone in a single network. You can have different networks in your armature. So I'm going to show you what that looks like by creating the arm and leg bones. So I'm going to go into Blender. So at the moment we've got our spine, so we've got the bottom of the spine, the middle, the top and shoulders, we've got the neck, and we've got the head. Now I'm going to make sure I'm in a front orthodox view. I'm going to click about here. So I'm going to position my 3D cursor here. So this is another point where the 3D cursor becomes very valuable, because you can use the 3D cursor to mark where you're going to start a rig of bones. So now I'm going to press Shift A, and what that has done, because I am in edit mode, by pressing Shift A it has automatically created a bone. Why has it done this automatically? Well, because if we were in objects mode and we were to add a bone, adding a bone would be our only option anyway. So instead of just taking us to the menu where we just click add bone, it just adds it for us. The top of the bone is selected, so we're going to press G to grab, and we're going to move it down here to roughly where our elbow would be. Next we're going to press E to extrude and bring that down. We'll keep it fairly basic, so I'll do one here and one here. There we go. Next I'm going to do it for the legs, so I'm going to position my 3D cursor, and then I'm going to press Shift and A, grab, bring it down to where the knee is, extrude to where the ankle is. Now I'm going to press 3, and you notice that they're out of position. This isn't really a problem because, as I said in the previous lecture, your bones will not be visible. However, you may want them to be in line. So I'm going to press L here to select these bones here. However, I've got to make sure that these are unselected. I can see actually that the bottom of that is unselected, so if I was to press G, yeah, it would bring it back. Okay, so press A to deselect everything, then L to select the arm bones. Make sure that you're in a two-dimensional perspective. I'm going to press G. I believe we're along the y-axis, and I'm just going to move it, there we go, just in line with our arm itself. And now I'm going to do the same with our leg bones. So I'm going to just grab Y and just bring it back. Now I'm going to select this bottom joint, and I'm going to do one more extrusion for the foot. If we go into front view with 1, excellent. Zoom out a bit, that looks good. If we spin around, that looks fantastic. So there you go, that is the standard way in which we would create a human rig mesh, or at least one half of it. Soon we'll mirror modify this onto the other side. So you don't need to create a full-on skeleton like a real body skeleton. You just need enough bones to do the animations that you want, so you don't really need any connecting shoulder bones. If you were doing something like really ridiculously high poly, like a really high-end game or really high-end animation, and you felt that you wanted to use as much of a rig as you possibly could, then obviously yes, you would create more bones along the spine, and you'd create shoulder bones to connect possibly from the neck to the top of the arm, and likewise for the hip area. But there you go, that's how we traditionally create arms and legs, at least for human rigs, in Blender.